Hello dear students of second prep, let's go to start our episode today. The first episode as we have to explain the motion, especially the oscillatory motion. Firstly, we should know how can we deal with motion as motion from the previous episode is the change in the object from or change the position of the object as time passes. يعني بغير مكاني بمرور الوقت. So here we have to know what is meant by motion as we studied before in first prep خدناه في الاعدادي. But in this year we will study the periodic motion. Okay? So what is meant by periodic motion? يعني ايه periodic motion؟ طبعا الليسن عندنا the title of this lesson is called the oscillatory motion and oscillatory motion معناها as vibrational motion أو حركة اهتزازية. So let's go to start with the first point in our episode today as we have to know what is meant by طبعا أول حاجة هنبتدي بيها the periodic motion. Periodic motion as we have to know here is the motion تمام repeated at regular periods of time at regular periods of time. Okay? طيب يبقى هنا we know what is meant by the periodic motion. Periodic motion is motion repeated بتتكرر at regular periods of time في أوقات طبعا منتظمة. So as we have for example motion of rotary bee. Rotary bee. Rotary bee اللي هي النحلة اللي احنا بنلعب بيها كده. Rotary bee is called the periodic motion. How can we answer this question? As give reason for. Because its motion is repeated at regular periods of time. So we can use that definition to answer this question. We have many examples about the periodic motion as the motion of swing, for example, اللي هي المرجيحة, as motion of pendulum or simple pendulum, and so on. So now we know, dear students, دلوقتي احنا عرفنا what is meant by the oscillatory motion, the periodic motion. عرفنا معناها. تمام؟ طيب we have another point. We have here the periodic motion as the motion regularly repeated at equal periods of time. But on the other side عندنا حاجة تانية اللي هي اسمها the oscillatory motion. We have to differentiate here between the periodic motion and oscillatory motion. ازاي نقدر نفرق ما بين periodic motion and oscillatory motion? Oscillatory motion is a type from the periodic motion. يعني هي oscillatory motion هي اصلا type from the periodic motion. طيب لو نبتدي كده نشوف مع بعض يعني ايه oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion, which means what? Here this motion on the two sides of rest points or the origin points. We can replace rest point with the origin point. As for example we have here the most famous one is the pendulum or simple pendulum. يعني we have here as this point like that. يعني for example, and here we have pendulum اللي هو at point A. This simple pendulum will move on the two sides, right and left side, as to point B, then return back through point A to point C, as you see like that. So here, in this case, the object moves on what? On the two sides here and here of the rest point or the origin point. يبقى عرفنا يعني ايه oscillatory motion. So we should know here some definitions or some as concept of the oscillatory motion. Any oscillating object has number one amplitude. Number one is amplitude. يعني لما اجي اقول له يعني ايه amplitude هقول له amplitude اهي. Amplitude is the maximum displacement. وكلمة displacement يعني مسافة، طبعا not actually distance يعني but we have a difference we will study in third prep هناخدها في ثالثة اعدادي بعدين. يبقى maximum displacement away from rest point، أبعد حاجة عن rest point. So here we have as for example يعني from A to B the body will stop at B then return back to A again. As this displacement مثلا for example equal 4 centimeter. So the amplitude here equal how many? Equal 4 centimeter. What is meant by? أقول the maximum displacement away from the rest point equal how many? Equal 4 centimeter. Okay, we have another طبعا definition here. طبعا عرفنا amplitude معناها ايه. عندي طبعا حاجة اسمها complete oscillation. complete ودي مهمة جدا. complete oscillation. يعني one oscillation عشان أعرف to calculate the number of oscillations during the motion of the object. Complete oscillation معناها ايه؟ معناها when the body passes through the origin point يعني عدى من الاوريجين point to successive times. two successive times يعني عدى مرتين ورا بعض. from the what? From the origin point. يعني for example if we have an oscillating body as you see here as simple pendulum برضو move from point A to point B. Okay, this motion or from A to B one time. Okay, طيب then return back أو رجع تاني to point A يبقى هنا عمل how many؟ عمل half oscillation. Okay, then the body moves from point A to point C like that in this direction, then return back again. So we have another half oscillation. حلو قوي كده. So how many amplitudes؟ واحد يقول لي we talk about oscillation but we should know how many amplitudes. We know now amplitude is what? Is the maximum displacement away from rest point. How many amplitudes here؟ عندنا كام amplitude؟ اقول له اهو 1 2 3 and 4. So now we can conclude in one oscillation equal 4 amplitudes. اظن سهله. طيب يبقى ال 1 complete oscillation equal 4 amplitudes. طيب so عندنا حاجه اسمها periodic time، اسمها periodic time، او نبتدي ممكن مش بالperiodic time، ممكن نبتدي بالfrequency، frequency اللي هو التردد، frequency. frequency as if. What is meant by frequency؟ هقول له number of oscillations done in 1 second. So here the measuring unit of time is what? Is 1 second. يعني if we have time in minute we should convert into what? In 1 into second، يعني multiply أو time 60. Okay? So as mathematical relation or magic triangle here we have what and what and what. We have number 1 frequency here F equal what? Equal number of oscillations over time. If you want to calculate number of oscillation، يعني لو انا عايز احسب number of oscillation هقول له equal what? Frequency times time. If you want to calculate time هقول له number of complete oscillation over frequency. يبقى هنا عرفت ان انا how can we if we remember على فكرة the mathematical relation or the mathematical law we can know the definition. يبقى frequency is what? Is the number of complete oscillations over time, and the measuring unit of time is second, not minute, not hour. Okay, we have another concept here is the periodic time. Periodic what? Periodic time. Periodic time or PT. PT, as you see, like that. Periodic time is time needed to make one oscillation. صح؟ تمام. طب أنا إزاي أعرف the mathematical law؟ إزاي أكتبه؟ Here we have a triangle or magic triangle like that. We start with what? هنبتدي بمين؟ أقول له periodic time PT equal what? Equal time needed، يبقى أكتب التايم فوق. To make one oscillation يبقى هنا تحت number of oscillations. يبقى we have the opposite as frequency equal number of oscillations over time, while periodic time equal time over number of complete oscillation. طبعا here we talk about periodic time and the measuring unit of periodic time is second برضه. Is second. Okay? So if we have a problem here dear students، لو انا هشتغل على problem مثلا for example here we have مثلا body، نكتبها كده مع بعض، makes 300 oscillations in 2 minutes. يبقى calculate frequency and periodic time. اوكي، هقول له يبقى الفريكونسي equal what? Equal number of complete oscillation over time. So number of complete oscillation equal 300 over time 2 minutes. 2 minutes we should convert into second. يعني 2 times 60 equal 120. So equal what? يبقى by using calculator هقول له 300 divide 120 equal what? Equal 2.5. 2.5 what? 2.5 what? Measuring unit is hertz. the measuring unit of frequency is hertz. طيب sometimes I need to calculate the periodic time. أنا عايز أحسب periodic time. هقول له يبقى periodic time equal time over العكس بقى number of complete oscillations. يبقى 300 يبقى 120 يبقى التايم فوق over 300 equal what by using calculator. هقول له اهو 120 over 300 equal how many equal 0.4 0.4 0.4 what periodic time. يبقى the measuring unit is second because the measuring unit of periodic time is is second. طيب we have another rule سهل جدا. This law or this rule is called what؟ هنا اهو. We have number one. As you see هقول له periodic time أو هنا هكتب 1 وهنا هكتب periodic time هنا هكتب frequency which means what؟ يعني ايه الكلام ده؟ يعني الفريكونسي equal 1 over periodic time and periodic time equal what? equal 1 over frequency. يعني I can calculate what? If I can calculate frequency ممكن I can calculate periodic time. يعني we know now ان الفريكونسي times periodic time equal what؟ مين يقدر يحسبها؟ اقول له frequency times periodic time equal 1. اهو قدامنا الماثماتيكال law. frequency times periodic time equal 1 or equal unity. 1 يعني unity وحدة. why؟ عندي frequency equal 1 over periodic time صح؟ the relation here between frequency and periodic time is inversely proportional. يعني if frequency increase the periodic time decrease and so on. يعني واحد فوق اهو والتاني تحت. انا بقولها لكم بالعربي اهو. يبقى الريليشن ما بينهم inversely proportional. يعني هنا why the frequency and the periodic time equal unity ده give reason. قال له because frequency and periodic time are what? Inversely proportional. يعني ايه inversely proportional؟ ما ممكن we have another give reason. اهو this question او this answer we have as to مثلا for example give reason for frequency and periodic time are what? are inversely proportional. give يعني هنا this answer we can use it as a give reason. هقول له inversely proportional معناها عكس بعض. يعني هقول له because if frequency increase the periodic time decrease or decreases and vice versa. والعكس صحيح. يعني if frequency decrease the periodic time is أو أيوة increase. يبقى we know now how can we calculate the frequency periodic time. تمام. يبقى now dear students we know how can we deal with this lesson. طبعا we finish this lesson الحمد لله. We know now what is meant by periodic motion, what is meant by oscillatory motion. خلي بالنا الروتري بي not oscillatory motion. It is a periodic motion because rotary بي its motion is repeated regularly at equal periods of time أو as time passes. While swing or tuning fork اللي هي الشوكة اللي بتتهز دي tuning fork or مثلا pendulum considered as what? as oscillatory motion because they move on the two sides of the wrist point. Today we know what is meant by amplitude, what is meant by frequency, what is meant by periodic time, and we know the measuring unit of each one of them. Until we meet again, thank you, see you, and goodbye.